Hello friends, welcome. Friends, in the morning, I saw this headline. DoT rejects TRAI plan to charge paltry 500 rupees urban Satcom Levy fee. Now friends, when this 500 rupees was charged, I recall I did a video to explain that this 500 rupees is not going to make a much difference as regarding the calculation of license fee and spectrum fee. But TRAI chose to charge rupees 500 per terminal per year if the satellite operator deploys that terminal in the urban area versus rural area where no such charges were applicable. Now, DoT has caught this aberration. Now, before I go into discussing what DoT has said and then analyze what kind of paltry nature of this rupees 500 urban Satcom levy is, I would like to give you the background as to where this 500 rupees urban Satcom levy fee came into being. This whole satellite debate, the entry of satellite players in the country, is laced with lot of controversy. You know that, friends, the terrestrial lobby was trying to block the satellite players' entry into the market using administrative spectrum. They wanted the spectrum to be auctioned. They said that in order to maintain a level playing condition, spectrum must be auctioned as we auction the terrestrial spectrum. Now, I have done multiple videos in class to explain that why satellite spectrum cannot be auctioned. The viewers can go and watch those videos. Now, friends, at the time when this discussion was going on, Airtel had a different view compared to Reliance Jio. Now, when suddenly Sunil Mittal came into fray, and one fine morning, Airtel changed its view. It said that they are fine with entry of satellite players in the rural area with no additional fee, but in the urban areas, there has to be a level playing condition between the terrestrial services and the satellite services in order to maintain parity. Because terrestrial players have taken spectrum through auction and the satellite players have taken spectrum without auction through administratively, and therefore the license fee has to be brought at par. Now, this idea of Sunil Mittal went into the head of TRAI because TRAI was in the process of doing deliberation of what kind of pricing recommendation they should bring in as regarding satellite players entry into the market. So they, in order to satisfy all kinds of lobby, added one paltry 500 rupees urban Satcom fee levy per terminal per year, and on top of the license fee and the spectrum fee. License fee 8% and spectrum fee of 4%. Now this urban versus rural division which got created because of this 500 rupees fee has been caught by DoT saying that this fee is not good enough to create that kind of confusion, which will result in lot of manpower wasted in auditing, whether the operators are reporting revenues properly or not. And I agree with DoT because TRAI could not understand that the impact on license fee is not going to be huge, and they will not be able to understand which subscriber is urban, which subscriber is rural, because when TRAI publishes their number of rural subscriber and urban subscriber, I do not know whether they give any definition. I still do not understand how the TRAI come out with the urban and the rural definition, and whether the urban and the rural definition is static. Maybe someday some area can get qualified into an urban area and suddenly the licensing structure would change. Who is going to spend so much amount of manpower to do this analysis? And DoT, I am totally with DoT that these kinds of aberrations should not be allowed. You need to make your licensing structure more simplified. So if you look at here in this article, what DoT is saying, that DoT does not understand how paltry 500 rupees will prioritize rural areas for satellite operators. The TRAI said that if you levy a rupees 500 rupees, satellite players are going to be much more motivated to go and do rural deployment, in line with what Sunil Mittal was saying. And Sunil Mittal's idea, I do not know, it was kind of a narrative which was just thrown in the fray without any practicality. As I was saying, urban versus rural, there hasn't been a licensing structure today in the country which charge license fee based on urban versus rural, because we don't have any precedent. So we don't want to create another precedent, another complexity, of which will result in arbitrage. And DoT clearly says that the proposal of charging rupees 500 as a fixed charge annually for urban Satcom consumer is difficult to implement, verify, and audit, said the second DFL official, and therefore they are going to send this back to TRAI. And I believe that either this SUC number that TRAI has said that satellite players will be charged 4% spectrum fee and 8% license fee, they may tweak that. But this kind of, addition and of license fee, which will create such a big regulatory nightmare, I don't think that TRAI has really applied their mind when they did this activity. Now, friends, just to understand what is the paltry nature of this 500 rupees. So what I've done, friends, I have created an Excel sheet. I always, play with data. So let me remove the ribbon first. So if you look at this Excel sheet, there is a assumption here where I have a starting ARPU of rupees 3,000, ARPU changing year on year, or 10% rupees, 10% ARPU change year on year. Urban subscriber versus rural subscriber, division is 50%, 50%. And then the starting number of subscriber is around 200K, 200,000 subscribers. And the terminal fee, I put 0 here. I can put it 500 here. Let me put 500 here, 500 rupees per terminal if you deploy in urban areas, right? Which I am covering in box 1. And then we have the subscriber growth year on year. Right? These are column numbers. These are years. And this is the total subscriber, right? 200K, 0.2 million. And then I break it between urban and rural area because of 50%. And then I grow the subscriber based on the growth rate. And then I have the ARPU, starting ARPU, and I grow the ARPU based on 10%. I can change these numbers, right? And I calculate the revenue, right? Yearly revenue. Very simple. Now, if you applied 8%, right, on this 722, it comes out to be rupees 58 crores, and these number will keep on changing. And then if put 500, because now I put 500 here, this box 1. So this number is going to be 34, 50, and blah, blah, blah. And then if I add this number and then divide this number by this number, we get 12.7%. And that is going to keep on decreasing to 12.3%. So in order to make comparison, because I need to play with this box. So what I've done is I have fixed the urban terminal at rupees 500 in this box 2, so that I can calculate the delta here. So let's say if I make this 0, you can see that with these assumptions on the table, which I showed you, the starting difference between the 500 rupees number and the 0% number, because 0% quite understandable. 8% license fee, 4% SUC, 12% all along. You start with 12.7%. And then it reduces as the numbers increase. So we have got 69 basis point. And then finally in year 2035, it will be 29 basis point. Now, there are many things which I can do here, play with. Let's say if I reduce the number of urban subscribers to 40%, 56 basis point difference and 24 basis point. Now, this license fee, which they will pay, if they pay 500 rupees, you can compare this with the current license fee which Bharti, license fee and spectrum fee which Bharti and Jio and VI is paying. Bharti is paying 9.64%. Jio is paying 9.14%. And Vodafone Idea is paying 9.83%. These numbers are different because the SUC numbers are different. Because when you do aggregation based on the quantum of 26 gigahertz spectrum you have, because it's a weighted average number, therefore these numbers have changed. 8% remains constant for all the 4 operators. So compared to this, you can see that this number is higher by around around 3%, you can say, right? So this is the number. And now if I increase the number of amount of ARPU and make it, let's say 8,000 rupees, and see what the number changes, it still reduces. So higher the ARPU that the satellite player will charge, this delta between rupees 500 rupees terminal fee here in this box and without this terminal fee is going to go down significantly. So if you charge low, then the difference is, let me just make it 4,000 rupees. So you see 42 basis point to 18 basis point. So friends, it is very clear, and I have been telling this earlier also, that 500 rupees per terminal, per subscriber per year in the urban area makes actually no sense. because it does not change significantly the outflow in terms of the satellite players. It virtually makes no sense. And why, make it so complex? DoT officials are absolutely fine. So we expect TRAI to apply their mind before making any recommendation. Why you want to create such kind of policy arbitrage to such an extent to get additional, some marginal benefit? So all the questions that has been put out by DoT official, I totally agree with them this time because this actually makes no sense. So anyway, there could be many other points which DoT official might have raised as regards the TRAI recommendation concern. I am not going to go into that at this particular point of in this video because I have no clue. One point is about direct benefit terminal direct benefit transfer using the USO fund for terminal purchase. DoT said that there are no such provision, and as and when I get more information about this subject, I will keep apprising the viewers. So that's all, friends, in this video. And let's see how this game plays out. Currently, it doesn't seem that, this 500 rupees per terminal, in the urban area per annum fees is not going to make any difference. It is going to create huge confusion. And therefore, it should be taken away completely. And you should have a uniform license fee of 8% and spectrum usage charge for 4%. That is fine. And that should do the job. Otherwise, auditing, calculations, arbitrage, changing situation, it will be nightmare on both the operator side as well as on the regulator sides or the DoT sides to manage. Thank you, friends, for your time and listening till the end. And I'll come back with a new video and a new topic next time. Thank you very much, friends.